Good morning, you guys. So it's early. It's actually 7:41 in the morning, and like always, I got my workout in today. And I just got finished dropping off the kids to school. So I just wanted to check in. I have a pretty busy day today. I have some meetings that I have to do. And then I have some things that I have to wrap up with a client. And we've been playing kind of phone tag. But I wanted to come on here just to let you guys know that show up for yourself. I mean, I just feel that so deeply in this season. It's like, show up for yourself. Like, there's another level of life. There's another level of what you can accomplish. But you will never know unless you show up for yourself. There's this saying that goes, showing up is half the battle. I'm in sales. I'm an insurance agent, right? And I do go to some of my clients' homes. And I cannot tell you how many times, and I'm going to just be honest, I may have been feeling lazy, or I may have missed an appointment, so I didn't show up, right? And I just didn't show up. But showing up was half the battle. Like, there were times that I did show up, and when I did show up, I would get the sale, and it will be like a record month for me. Even if I didn't get the sale from that person in the home, it was almost like, because I showed up, the business was attracted to me. So that's with anything in life. I hope that motivates you guys. Like I said, show up for yourself. So I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna have some coffee because I have had a busy morning. It's been like, let's see, I got up at 4, worked out. I'm in the gym by like 5, and then I come back, I get my kids dressed, and then I drop them off at school. And that's like a shift. Like, people like mothers, we are super women, okay? Because that's like a full-time shift, especially single mothers that have to do that plus work a job. So I'm gonna have some quiet time, some me time, drink my coffee, and then start my second shift, get the rest of my day started. So I will be talking to you guys soon, and I may or may not bring you along with me. I haven't decided yet, but I do just want to let you know to show up for yourself. That's all you got to do, show up for yourself. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Okay, family, so I'm back. So yeah, so that's part of my story that I was going to tell you. So yes, I have my little ones. Today is Tuesday, and they are not in school, and they should be in school, but it's a long story behind that. So I'm actually here at the airport because I have to pick up my little sister. She's coming back in town from a quick getaway, and she was supposed to be here last night, but her flight got delayed to like the next day. So because her flight got delayed, I'm here picking her up. So when she gets in the car, I'll tell y'all the story. So I got my best friend. I have my sister in the car. What is this? Okay, go ahead. Jeez, get over. I can't be that far in a blind spot when they was trying not to hit me. Okay, y'all. So I finally got my sister after looping around the thing twice. I finally got her. So I'm gonna let her tell the story of what happened flying on Spirit, the Ghetto. Okay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let me see if I can start from the beginning. So,
you gotta speak up.
Okay, so yesterday my flight was supposed to leave at 7:32, but actually we did, everything was going according to plan, so we did actually get on the plane around like 7:32ish and started boarding. But then we was sitting there for a while. I mean, it was kind of late because, Spirit,
Yeah.
like going according to plan and according to time, like they're usually about 30 minutes off.
You will go on a plane one day, Justice. Now let your auntie finish telling her story.
So, we're going according to plan, according to Spirit's time.
Y'all.
She's doing that because I'm talking.
Sorry, y'all. I had to go be mama on my little boy.
Okay, so, so we got on the plane, and we were all sitting there for a really incredibly long time. Well, first off, when I got on the plane, no, that was on the way there, okay, so never mind. But yeah, we were all sitting there for a really long time, and, like we were all getting kind of anxious, but I thought we were at least going to take off. And then they made an announcement after waiting for a really long time, but everybody kind of already knew something was wrong because the flight attendants were kind of talking real low among each other. And they was like, all right, y'all, something's wrong with the plane. We have maintenance working on it. Well, at first they let us know that maintenance working on it, and that it was going to be a minute. And so everybody was a little frustrated, but we thought we were still going to take off.
Right.
But then they came back like 30 minutes later and was like, the plane is broken down pretty much, and we'd have to get on another plane. So they told us to get off the plane. So we all got up, got our bags out of the overhead bins, and we came off the plane into the airport back to our gate again. So we all sat down at the gate, and I sat down at the beginning of the opening to get on the plane of the gate, so that way when we started onboarding again, I could just walk up, like I didn't have to wait in that long line. Because they said all they were waiting on, they had another plane for us. This is what they said. They said they already had another plane for us. We just had to wait until they brought it around to the gate so we can board the new plane. So after waiting for about 35-40 minutes, they said that our gate changed.
First of all, how long does it take for them to bring a plane to the gate? It shouldn't take that long.
I don't think they had one. I think they were just saying stuff just to keep people from getting angry. I think they were just making up stuff, to be honest. At first I was believing them, and I was like, I think they're just making up stuff so people don't get angry.
Right.
So then they said our gate changed. So we were at F gate, and then we had to go to G gate. Now G gate is on the other side of the airport. So everybody had to get their bags and walk.
Wait, so it's over there like, okay, you know how Delta is in the front?
Yeah.
And then Spirit is way in the back because Spirit is Ghetto.
Yeah.
You had to walk all the way to the front?
No, we had to walk to the other side of the airport, like G gates,
Oh.
So, yeah.
Wow.
There's 27 letters in the alphabet, so there are gates all over the airport. So we had to walk to the other side of the airport to G gates. And this was after waiting for about 45 minutes for them to bring the plane around to the F gate, which never happened. So, which I kind of figured something was up with that too, because at F gate, while we were all waiting to hear back something, they kept changing the times in the email, like, oh, your plane is only at this time, it's leaving this time.
Mm-hmm.
And the flight attendants were still like whispering among each other. And so like the people at the gate, they really didn't know much about it, but then they made the announcement that our gate was going to change. So we all walked over to G gate, and then we sat down, which I had to use used the restroom multiple times throughout this because this is a very long time period, okay?
Yeah.
So, between me hurrying up using the restroom, making sure that they don't board without me, whatever they decide, you know. And I'm glad I didn't go to the restroom while I was waiting for them at F gate, because if I did, I would have missed the news that they changed their gate. So, I held having to use the restroom most of the time. So, we finally made it to G gate. I finally was able to use the restroom, and we waited there for about 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we waited at G gate for about 3 hours. And the reason why they switched our gate is because they had another plane leaving out on F gate, and so we had to leave. But anyway, so after waiting for about 3 hours, people were getting frustrated. They said our plane finally arrived. People were clapping. They were excited. And then
people were clapping?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yes. By this time it was like, I think it was like 10 p.m. by this time. So by like 10 p.m. they said our plane finally arrived, but they were waiting, you know. But it took them a while because they were like, oh, we're still waiting for them to bring your plane up to the gate. They were waiting for them to bring our plane up to the gate for about 3 hours.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on with our plane then? So when they finally brought the plane up to the gate, people were excited. And then the lady at the gate was like, not yet, don't get excited, because we're still waiting on a flight attendant. And so the guy behind me was like, what does that have to do with me? Like, why? I don't understand why they were holding up the entire flight for one flight attendant. And I understand they need everyone, all the crew on deck, you know?
Right.
Before they take off, but it's like there's no replacement or anything. Like this one flight attendant is holding up. You're going the right way.
Oh.
This one flight attendant is holding up the entire flight, you know?
Right.
So, okay, after another hour passed by, it's 11 p.m. now. The flight attendant, I guess, finally showed up late for work. This is another thing to let you know how ghetto Spirit is. Like,
first of all,
their workers don't even show up on time.
Right. Like, they knew their plane was going to be late.
Yeah, so the workers never show up on time. And then once the flight attendant finally showed, they were like, we're waiting on a pilot. So I'm like, really? Even if the flight attendant did show on time, we would still have to wait on a pilot. They just failed to tell us that.
Right.
So they said we were waiting on a pilot. But mind you, they didn't let us know they didn't have a pilot until we were on the plane. So they boarded everyone. Yeah, they got everyone on the plane, okay, when the flight attendant came. And we're all sitting there and we're like, what's going on here, you know? And then they're saying, oh, we can't leave until, this is when they start making up stuff. They said we can't leave until the air conditioning's fixed because it was hot on that plane. The first plane felt like fish.
Ooh.
So I don't know what was going on with that. But it was hot on the second plane. It was hot on this plane. So they were like, we can't leave until we fix the air conditioning, you know. And so that was kind of understandable, you know, because I'm like, we're going to be in the air. So
right.
They finally fixed the air conditioning, which now I'm starting to think the air conditioning wasn't even broke. They were just stalling until the pilot came.
Yeah.
So they finally, quote unquote, fixed the air conditioning. And they're like, everyone turn your air vents on now. So we're sitting in an air conditioned plane still waiting, you know. And so after about 35 minutes sitting on the plane, not hearing anything, and people getting anxious, you know, and the flight attendants still whispering among each other. Then they finally make the announcements. A guy that's not even an employee on our flight that works at the gate comes out and he's like, I apologize for this inconvenience, but unfortunately we don't have a pilot for this flight, so you guys have to get your stuff and come out.
Wow. That's how you know Spirit is
like
that.
12 a.m.
Like, when a pilot don't even want to fly the plane, like, that's how you know they are, like, ghetto.
Yeah, so by this time it was like 12 a.m. and this is, you know, in one plane there's like over 100 people. So this is over 100 people who have been switched from plane to plane to plane, you know, gate to gate, you know. So by the time over 100 of us get off the plane, people are angry and they're upset and they're yelling, cussing at the people at the gate, you know, because there are a couple of people that we had kids who missed school yesterday.
Oh.
What's today? Monday?
Today is Tuesday.
See, my days are messed up. All day yesterday, I had been at the airport since 6 p.m. yesterday. So all day yesterday, it was just crazy. So there are people who were on my flight had been at the airport all day yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are people who are upset because their kids missed school today, you know. And luckily for me, like, and so once we all got off the plane, they weren't giving us any information, almost nothing, no information on what's next. So they said 10 minutes, well, you'll know something. So after about another 35 minutes, 30 minutes, they finally said, oh, you know, like, go to the ticket booth. There will be hotel accommodations, and the next plane isn't leaving out until tomorrow.
Wow.
I know. So that meant that either people would have had to spend the night at the airport and wait till the next plane early in the morning, which is at 11:30 a.m., by the way.
Ugh.
Or, so that would have looked like sleeping at the airport till 11:30 a.m. or taking them up on their hotel accommodations. So nobody was going to sleep at the airport. So everyone went to, and we still had to go to the ticket booth to get our new ticket. So everyone went to the ticket booth. And once we all got to the ticket booth, it was packed because, mind you, it's like over 100 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were fiddling around on the computers because we had to go to Spirit's ticket booth, by the way.
Wow.
They were fiddling around on the computers, not really doing anything. And then after about an hour of standing with my heavy bags, my shoulder hurting, they finally said, well, it wasn't Spirit employees who said it. It was a lady who was nice enough to inform everybody what was going on. That did not work for Spirit. She was another passenger that kind of got the news. They were waiting. It took them so long, or it was taking them so long, because they did not. Everyone was supposed to get an email of the new tickets for the next flight that they rescheduled us to in the hotel accommodations, but the email didn't go out.
Wow.
So they were figuring out, like, you know, everyone was checking their phone. They were saying it should be there, but I don't think they ever sent it. I think they were lying. And it wasn't there. And so after about 2.5 hours of waiting in line, and a lady passed out. I felt so bad.
God.
They had to call the ambulance. I FaceTime Adrian so he could see, like, while we were standing in line.
Wait, you FaceTime him so he could see the lady?
I felt so bad. Like, Spirit should pay for her medical bills. So while we were standing in line, we were standing there so long. Everyone was carrying their heavy bags after doing all that walking.
That's a lot of walking.
Right, walking back and forth miles, right? Because Spirit is not in, they don't get priority, okay?
Right.
Miles. And carrying the heavy bags, switching gates, getting on off the planes, and then have to stand in that long line at the ticket booth and them not moving the line or telling us anything. I can imagine that some people were getting kind of, if nobody ate that long time too, by the way.
Right.
I can imagine, and they try to give us food vouchers, but that's all we got in the email was food vouchers.
Are you serious?
Nobody got a ticket, nothing, and we got food vouchers after 1 a.m. So it's 2 a.m., like 2:30ish a.m., and everyone's standing in line, and a lady, she faints, and she doesn't faint like calmly either. Like, she hits the ground, her head hits the marble concrete, and so everyone rushed over to her to try to, like, fan her. She wasn't doing anything for a while. Like, she just went limp, you know, like her arms weren't moving, and so they had to call in the police. They called in Broward County Sheriff, and then he couldn't do anything. The wheelchairs were locked because it was past 2 a.m. The employees weren't there to. The employees that pushed people on the wheelchairs, they were off the shift because it was so late or so early in the morning. So they couldn't put her in a wheelchair, so they called the ambulance, and so the ambulance and, you know, had to come out and pretty much give her medication, nurse her back to health. And they were finally able to get a wheelchair from the ambulance for her to sit in. And so she, thankfully, I think she made it through the night because she was alert when I left. Now, when I left around almost 3 a.m., people were still standing in line. Now, I was at the airport at 6 p.m. It's now 3 a.m.
What is that, like 6 hours? 9 hours?
Probably, yeah. So I told Adrian, I was like, we could have, if we started driving at 6 p.m., I would have been
You would have made it home. Yeah, like,
So,
that's ridiculous.
It is. So, Adrian was getting upset, so he was like, I'm just going to get you another ticket with Delta. And I did get another ticket with Delta.
Rightfully so, because he bought her that cheap ticket with Spirit.
So I did get another ticket with Delta, and as I left the line, like, people were still standing in line at like 3 a.m. Almost.
Dang, are you serious?
Yeah,
wow.
So I'm tired. Like, I was holding my heavy bag on my shoulders, you know, like, it was fine. It was.
Oh man.
I know. So I was really annoyed, you know.
AJ is cool, people. I'm glad he finally connected the dots and got the Delta ticket. So more of the story
I don't even know what happened to those people. Those people that were in line. I don't even know what happened to them. The spirits.
Girl, they probably still there. What you think? You think they still there?
They probably left at 11 a.m. I don't know. Spirit sent on the email and was like, they apologized. They gave flight credits. So I have 2 free flights on one.
But who wants to fly Spirit after that?
I don't even know who wants
to fly Spirit after that? More of the story, y'all, is don't fly Spirit because Spirit is ghetto. Okay, like that was a whole work shift.
Fainted. She almost died. The lady almost died.
And it's like, do you go after Spirit because of that? I would.
She literally fainted. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, you know, call somebody."
Yes,
like, it was horrible.
I would definitely be going after Spirit, because they were pretty much keeping y'all out of the loop. Like they already knew what was up.
People's kids in school.
If you don't have a pilot, just say that. Like they should have said that from the beginning. And that's how you know Spirit is messed up. I mean, because the pilots don't even want to fly Spirit. All right, like so don't fly Spirit, y'all. Like them TikToks that they be having. Like it's true, like, and it's so funny because right before my sister left, we were watching a TikTok about flying Spirit.
Oh my! In the TikTok, it did say, "Oh, and we forgot to mention we don't have a pilot."
Yes.
They never have a pilot. Their employees never want to come to work on time.
Look, them pilots fly Spirit when they just want to make a little extra cash. They don't have designated. They don't have designated pilots. They have pilots that I think I want to make some overtime today. So I'm gonna fly the Spirit plane. But on a serious note, though, I was getting really kind of nervous. So like at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I started praying for my sister. I was like, Lord, please let her get on another plane. And God came through because you end up flying Delta. I was praying, girl, at the midnight hour. Yes, I was like, Lord, let her get on another plane because something fishy. I'm not trusting Spirit right now. So anyway, that's the story. And on the other end of that, I'm at home, so I'm wanting to get my sister on time. So I feed the kids early, I bathe them, I put them in the bed, and I'm checking in with her. I'm like, you're not on the plane yet? And then she gets on the plane and it's like, y'all haven't taken off yet?
Oh, and I put you on speaker and you could hear them saying on the announcement.
Oh yeah.
Like people were upset too.
Yeah, like
they were like, all right, get y'all bags.
Yes.
To get off the plane again.
All of that boarding and unboarding, like you're wasting people time.
Right.
Like,
and energy, like having to carry those heavy bags that lady said, you know?
That's ridiculous.
They had to do like the chesting, you know, like the on her chest.
My gosh.
I know.
Oh, bless her heart.
Her husband was like fanning her when she finally
I would have been, if my man better went to war for me.
Like, who knows what was wrong with her? If she had, like, maybe a
heart problems,
like,
whatever.
You know, maybe she was a diabetic, needed to eat. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. Like, so many things. And they just got these poor people walking back and forth, like.
And standing on our feet for long periods of time.
Right. Like, that's ridiculous. So, I have her now. I have my best friend.
And like Adrian was saying, he was like, he doesn't understand why Spirit is not off the area. Like, I don't understand why they're still allowed to function as a company.
Yeah, because it's almost like that should be going against, I don't know, what is it called?
Airport shouldn't host their company anymore.
Right. The code of ethics and all of that. Like, isn't there a certain criteria that they have to meet? A standard?
Like an audit they have to go through or something that they're not meeting. I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
They should be taken off the airways or whatever.
They should. Like, the vibes that Spirit gives is like they will just drop in the middle of the sky. Don't it though? It's like they'll just, you be flying, and then they'll find a reason not to blame it on Spirit. It's like, and then they look.
It sounds like Spirit.
The vibes that they give is like, you should sign a waiver before you board their plane. Like,
Drop in the middle of the sky.
if you decide to fly with Spirit, you are risking your life. It's your choice. You know, like, that's terrible. But she's safely home back in Georgia, and now we're gonna go get something to eat. What do you want to eat?
I don't know, like, I'm hungry.
She been through so much. I'm gonna get her something to eat, y'all. So I'll check back in with y'all later.